Expecting a baby is a time of great joy, but as a family physician, I often saw that joy mixed with a bit of fear as to how my patients' toddlers would adjust to having a new baby in the family. Today, we'll discuss how to ease the transition from when to announce your pregnancy to your toddler to steps you can take before and after the arrival of your newest family member. So when is the best time to let your toddler know that a new baby is expected? Typically in the second trimester, around the time you're beginning to show. This is for several reasons. First is that the vast majority of miscarriages occur in the first trimester, and it would be very difficult to explain to a toddler why a new baby is no longer going to arrive after announcing to them that they're going to be a big brother or big sister. Secondly is that this gives a longer period of time for them to adjust to the reality of their expanding family compared to giving them only a few weeks' notice. And thirdly is that once you begin to show, people often start talking openly to you about the pregnancy, and your toddler should not be made to feel confused or left out of what they can sense is big news. How should you inform your toddler? There are many different acceptable ways, but what I don't advise is asking them if they want a little brother or sister. Often the answer is no, and then letting them know that one is coming anyway can make them feel that their opinion isn't valued. Instead of asking them, simply let them know in a simple but positive statement. Don't start with, "We have a big surprise for you." To a toddler, that means a toy or a sweet, and to be told that instead it is that their whole family dynamic is going to change may not result in the reaction you had hoped for. Instead, you could start by pointing out someone they know with a younger sibling so that they know what you're talking about, such as, "You know how Bobby has a little sister, Nora? Well, in a few months, you'll be getting a baby brother or sister too." If they show an interest, answer their questions. If they show no interest at all, don't press the issue, as you don't want every discussion about the new baby to be a battle. If they say, "No, we aren't," ask them if they have any questions about it, and then change the subject to allow them some time to digest the information. If they have a tantrum or meltdown, address it like any other tantrum or meltdown. I have a link to my video on toddler tantrums at the end of this video, which you can review in advance. They will likely have questions about where the baby is now, and you can point to your baby bump and explain that the baby is growing inside mommy until it's ready to be born. It's important to not say that the baby is growing in mommy's stomach, as they understand that the stomach is where food goes when it is eaten. Use the term belly, which is the layman's term for the abdomen, the part of the body that holds your stomach, intestines, liver, spleen, pancreas, gallbladder, and kidneys, as well as the uterus and ovaries in women. If they're old enough that they ask questions about the location of food versus the baby, a simple explanation that there's a pocket in the upper belly called the stomach that holds the food, and in women there's a pocket in the lower belly called the uterus that holds the baby until it's ready to be born. Next is to get them used to the idea of babies as a normal and natural occurrence. Take them to a zoo or a farm and point out the animal babies. Read books together about babies so that when one actually arrives in their home, it won't be a concept so foreign to them that it's scary. Play games with them feeding baby dolls, burping them, taking them for walks, and changing their diapers. If you have a friend or a relative with a baby, let your toddler have some supervised close proximity to the baby. If they show an interest in touching or holding the baby, great. If not, don't force the issue. It is good for them to see that they can still play and have fun even if there's a baby nearby. Before the baby arrives, introduce the concept of a sibling bond. If you or your partner has siblings, you can tell stories of fun activities that you used to do with your brother or sister. And in those stories, you can also emphasize how your parents loved you both, as having more than one child increased the total love in the household. Refer to the baby as our baby, indicating that the baby is part of the whole family and not just the parent's baby. Work with them on the concept of gentle. If you or a friend or family member has a dog or a cat, reinforce the concept of gentle as they pet the dog or cat. Praise them when they interact gently, and if they become overenthusiastic, remove them from the animal's reach, show them a gentle petting motion while saying gentle, then reward them by letting them pet the animal gently. By the time the baby arrives, they should already understand the concept of gentle. At the time of delivery, Have a gift ready from your newborn to your toddler. Additionally, before you're ready to deliver, shop with your toddler for a gift from them to the newborn. Also have a doll of some type ready for your toddler to feed and tend to while you're doing the same with your newborn. This can build the feeling of team rather than competing for attention. Once your newborn is back home, expect some regression from your toddler. Many toddlers who were potty trained suddenly start having accidents, and those who could drink perfectly well from a cup begin asking for a bottle. They see the newborn getting so much attention and use that as a ploy to get some of that themselves. Be sure that your toddler is getting plenty of your attention without needing to resort to regression. But many will temporarily regress even when you're doing everything right. Talk to the baby when your toddler can overhear, such as, "Someday when you're a big girl, you'll be able to drink from a cup like Sissy." Or, "You're just a little baby now, so you need diapers, but when you get big like Sissy, you'll be able to use the potty instead." Work with the big boy or big girl image with your toddler, asking them to get something you need to tend to the baby together, or singing him a song together to help soothe him when he's fussy. One caution that people may forget is that if you have to disappoint your toddler, don't blame the baby. For example, your toddler may ask you to go to the park. Instead of saying, "We can't go to the park right now because the baby is sleeping," instead say, "We can't go right now, but I'll take you in an hour." The first response implies that if you didn't have a baby, the toddler would be able to be at the park right now. You could be increasing resentment against the baby without even trying. The second response indicates that you can't go now, but that there is a concrete time when you will be going. Instead of just saying later, which everyone knows sometimes means never, you give a time frame of an hour. Even though they may not understand the concept of how long an hour is, they understand that it is a concrete amount of time and that their wish will be fulfilled. Another example may be when your toddler sees you feeding your infant, so they ask for a snack. Don't say, "I can't get that for you right now because I'm feeding the baby." Instead, explain that as soon as you're done, it will be Sissy's turn. Toddlers understand turns, and they are very attuned to fairness, so that response is far less likely to elicit resentment. Lastly, let your toddler know that the baby looks up to them as a hero and role model, saying, "Johnny always smiles when you walk into the room. You are such a great big sister," can inspire your toddler to continue to want to make the baby happy. And often the older siblings do grow up to be the heroes of their younger siblings. Offering toddlers choices such as what outfit the baby will wear can give them more control over the chaos that a new baby can bring. And continue to shower them with unconditional love so that soon they will realize that the love you give to your new baby never reduces the love you have for your toddler, because the love that you have is infinite and one thing that they can always count on in their lives. If you're finding my videos helpful, please hit like and drop a comment. And if you'd like to be among the first to know when new content is released, hit subscribe as well.